It's the story of a poor boy this week. I'm Mikey.
I'm Matt.
And this week, Liverpool have played 3 friendlies, lost 1, won 2. Won the 2 we're asked about, really. We won
As
1.
Meatloaf said.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Yeah.
He did say that.
He did say 2/3 was quite good.
He did. And we won a lot of the Dortmund match as well until 80 minutes in, something like that. Yeah.
It was a weird one.
Yeah, it's been a weird week. But Liverpool's US tour's come to an end. They're now on their way to France, where they will be met by Alisson Becker and Roberto Firmino, and now Trent Alexander-Arnold as well.
So the Brazilian boys. Trent is now honorary Brazilian.
Yeah, honorary. So what we're going to do then is we're going to talk about the week in general for Liverpool. We're going to mention a little bit about Ben Woodburn going out on loan, a little bit about links, very tenuous links to Christian Pulisic, as there is every summer now.
I feel like I've willed this into existence.
Yep.
From me just every week just going, I just want a young winger. I really want a young winger, and I feel like the squad's complete.
Yeah.
I'm taking credit for this.
Yeah. We're going to talk a little bit about Xherdan Shaqiri and his role going forward. We're going to talk
his strange-shaped body.
About Daniel Sturridge as well, and the hope that burns eternal with Daniel Sturridge.
I can see Mikey tearing up right now.
I'll get to it. And last but not least, we're going to talk about our favourite managerial breakdown of all time, which is Jose Mourinho. I'm watching him just completely capitulate into nothingness. It's got to be an incredible season. It really is.
The writing's on the wall.
It is. So, US tour. Been pretty successful for the Reds, hasn't it?
Yeah, a lot of youth got a lot of run out. The squad looking in good shape. It's been really nice to see Keita playing football because he's just brilliant. Fabinho looks quite assured. It all looks good. And obviously, tons of Reds over in America have got to see the favourite players because we're all massive Reds, which is great.
Yep. Well, the United game's one of the biggest capacities of all time. 101,000.
Yeah, it's huge, isn't it?
It only got 7,000 less than the Super Bowl.
Wow.
This year, sorry. Which is fucking mind-blowing when you actually think of how big the Super Bowl is.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
And how much those tickets are as well.
Yeah.
But I think the cheapest ones are about 150 quid.
Well, according to Jose Mourinho, we can't understand why anyone was there. Because... he's a complete nutcase. More on that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it went as well as I suppose Dortmund, conceding 3 quite late on is a blip, and Jürgen won't be happy with that. But when you look at the team who were on the pitch at the time, you can't read too much into it. But what you can say is that there are players who are coming away from the US tour at this moment in time with their stock definitely raised, and very few are coming away with their stock lower than ever. The only one I can really think of who hasn't done much to raise his stock is Dominic Solanke.
I was going to say Origi.
Alright, then we'll go with Origi as well, because I'm fine with that. I suppose Karius as well, but his stock's never been lower anyway, so...
just leave the poor guy alone.
I know, yeah. This will be the one week we just leave him now, I think. After that, I had to mention him briefly, but that's it. Although he did make those comments this week, but I'm not... leave it.
It's neither here nor there. I just want to leave him alone.
Yeah, leave him alone to go and play for some German team. But yeah, I mean, who's impressed you most so far from this pre-season?
Throughout the whole of pre-season, I think it's probably Keita.
He missed 2 games in the US tour, which is obviously a shame.
Yeah.
Puts him back a little bit, but
it's a stiff neck into.
Yeah, I'd expect him to still be fit, but
It's not like it's an injury in his leg or anything, so he can still do everything. It's just don't want to take any risks on his neck.
Yeah, which is fair.
Other than him, probably a toss-up between Curtis Jones and Daniel Sturridge.
That's fair.
They have been really, really good. And when you talked about a player whose stock has been raised by this pre-season, I think it's definitely Daniel Sturridge. He's played his way back into Jurgen Klopp's thinking, I think, for the season ahead. Because at the start of pre-season, we all thought that that was it for Sturridge. He was off. He got sent out on loan. That's usually spells the end. But now he's looking good. He's talking like he's going to be part of a team and wants to be part of a team. And his play is so good.
He's just a very intelligent footballer,
Yeah.
Daniel Sturridge, and that's the thing. And as I said, hope burns eternal with Daniel Sturridge because, the cynic in every Liverpool fan is going, yeah, but you can't rely on him. We could put all of our hopes and dreams on Daniel Sturridge and then he's injured the week after. Or we can go, yeah, but you remember the 13-14 season and how good he was. I mean, Daniel Sturridge has been
and
here.
12-13 when he came in. He was great then.
He was, and this is the thing. Daniel Sturridge is undoubtedly a world-class footballer when he is fully fit.
Yeah.
But he has not been fully fit for just over 4 years.
Yeah.
And that's... It's such a tragedy. It really is.
Do you think with this pre-season, though, Klopp might have figured out what to do with him?
He's already mentioned... He mentioned recently, Klopp, but I think it was after the City... Was it City or... after one of the games anyway.
Yeah.
He mentioned that he's got no problem with tailoring plans for individuals, which it looks like that's what Daniel Sturridge is. And if Daniel Sturridge has to be one of those players who's like Ledley King, used to be for Tottenham and just didn't train, it might have to be like that. It might well do. But if
something like that could be the difference, like the fine margins that we talk about in a season.
Well, this is the thing. It's very rare you see Daniel Sturridge get injured in a match. It's normally Daniel Sturridge just picked up an injury in training,
except for on his debut for West Brom. Sorry.
West Brom. Yeah, where Chelsea, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? Though, it's very rare. We see him go down on the pitch sometimes, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but when you actually think about it,
when you actually think about it, it's normally training injuries.
Yeah,
and that might say a lot for the intensity of what Klopp's trying to do.
Possibly, yeah,
and that he just can't handle it.
Yeah, and so that might be where this new role for him has come from. So we can definitely notice that he's dropping deeper. He's being a little bit more of a creator, and he's not trying to run past the lines. He's ball at his feet, face towards goal. So maybe that his new role in the team is reflected in what is happening in training as well. Maybe he's doing less intense runs. Maybe he's not overexerting himself as much as, say, Naby Keita or Adam Lallana would, because they're just pressing machines.
Well, maybe. I mean, you can say Adam Lallana in there. Maybe Adam Lallana falls somewhere in between the lines of can handle it like Keita can and can't. I
still have a lot of faith in Lallana. I think he's just been unlucky. I don't think he's injury prone.
There's a point where you have to kind of you have to accept though, like Daniel Sturridge, Adam Lallana's missed a lot of football in the last year and a half. And that's down to injuries.
But he's like a new signing, Mikey.
I'm not. No, no. We aren't going near that.
I'll be the horrendously optimistic Liverpool fan, which I usually am.
Well, I'll be horrendously optimistic myself because I've already got Daniel Sturridge in my fantasy football team.
You do.
But for the first weekend, I think he'll start over Firmino. Purely unless Firmino comes back absolutely on fire and scores 6 past Napoli and Torino, then I can't really see.
Firmino does tend to come back from holiday quite fat as well, so
he did last year, didn't he?
And throwing up pure vodka.
Yeah, I mean,
he did get married, to be fair to him.
Yeah, I could see Firmino. To me, it's more important Firmino's back for Palace than it is for West Ham. So if it means that we have Firmino starting from the bench against West Ham, and then Firmino starts away at Palace, that's absolutely fine with me.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah, he's more important to a performance where you're going to have to grind a result like Palace is normally. Palace is, for some reason, for Liverpool, it's a difficult place to go.
It is. Well, it's just haunted by the memories of 13-14, I think.
Yeah.
Although we have won our last 3, I believe, away at Palace. Well, but it's still it's a horrible place to go.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's one of those that you consider a bogey team. For years, I thought, I hate when Liverpool go to Stoke, but it's because of the 6-1 in my head.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas we've won most of the games we've ever played at Stoke.
Yep.
But going back to Sturridge, it's a big gamble, but you have to think that Liverpool are aware that there's a gamble involved in it. Jurgen Klopp's aware there's a gamble involved in it. He's willing to take that chance on Daniel Sturridge this season, and he's not someone you're going to pin your hopes and dreams on this season. But if Daniel Sturridge gets 15 goals for Liverpool in all competitions, then it's better than what Ings and Solanke managed last year.
Yeah, that is true.
And this
that would be fucking lovely.
And this is going back to what we said, literally the episode after the Champions League. Who would you rather have next season on the bench, coming off the bench in a title challenging season? Would you rather have Dominic Solanke, or would you rather have Daniel Sturridge?
Daniel Sturridge.
Exactly. And Daniel Sturridge, he might have to learn to accept that he is not going to start every game.
I think he knows that.
And
I think he does.
Like, he alluded to it in his Anfield Wrap interview with John Gibbons yesterday. He's aware of that. And that's fair enough, do you know what I mean? That's mature of him. And he is 28 now. He's getting to that point now where he should be hitting his peak. Well, he might get his peak a bit later this time around because of the amount of time he's spent out, but you never know. But I just can't help but be excited about Daniel Sturridge. I really can't. It hurts. It hurts every year, every fucking year. I think this. And it's like, this could be the one. This could be the run where Sturridge just keeps going. And I think there's a little bit of added pressure on Danny now in the fact that Origi, Solanke and Ings all, well, two of them
failed to impress or are off.
Yeah, exactly. Two of them haven't been great this pre-season, and one of them has stayed behind to get a move. And rumours of £20 million to Crystal Palace for Danny Ings ripped their hand off really for that. Yeah. You can't really complain.
Well, for a player who hasn't really kicked the ball in anger for 2 years.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, I'd be happy with that. I'd take that. I think Palace would be a bit of a weird one for him because
I think if he goes to Palace, I think it means Zaha's off to Spurs.
It's a very different. I mean, it's a very Roy Hodgson thing to do, but I don't know if I'd be happy with that if I was a Palace fan. But
he'll get them goals. He will.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it for 1 second. But are they playing little and large?
Second he's off, he's going in my fantasy team. So.
Oh yeah, too right. Yeah, too right. I'd rather see him for fantasy team purposes. I'd rather see him go to Newcastle.
I'd rather see him go to Newcastle just to see Newcastle stay up as well, to be honest. I am losing faith in how...
Lejeune has got injured now. They're over centre half. Yeah. He's injured now. So if Lascelles gets off, they've got no one now. And
I'm losing faith in Rafa's ability to keep up that really, really sinking ship. Because they are just not spending any money. And when Fulham are out there buying Andrei Schürrle and Mitrovic off of Newcastle... and Wolves have bought all of Portugal. They've got more Portuguese players than Porto.
Have they actually?
They have.
That's so impressive. Honest to God, that is so impressive.
It's just I can't. Rafa's incredible, but it might be one too far. It might be one too far because if there's not investment coming in, if they don't spend that £22 million that they just got for Mitrovic on some players. And some, then they've got to be favourites to go down. They really have. Even over Huddersfield.
Yeah. I can see where you're coming from with that. I'm just sitting here looking for a tweet I saw this morning. Basically, I think there's over 140 signings now in the Premier League history that have been over £20 million of the teams who are left in the Premier League now.
Yeah.
And Newcastle haven't contributed one
of
those.
Exactly. So
their record signing is still Michael Owen.
Exactly. They still haven't broken that record. And in this market, it does not take much to break that record.
Yeah. How the fuck did we end up on Newcastle? Oh yeah, Danny Ings.
Ings should go to Newcastle. Mike, actually put your fucking finger out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that probably scares them away from that. I think Origi's got to go this summer. For his own benefit more than anything else.
Yeah, I read something earlier saying that we won't entertain any loan offers for Origi. We'll only look to sell. Same with Mignolet. So that seemingly spells the end for both of those. Because you would imagine there would be bids coming in.
Yeah.
And we're not accepting any loans. So yeah, they're definitely 100% off.
And that's fair enough, because Origi just really has not progressed the way he should have.
It is a shame.
And you can see that, like, when going back to the same episode we were talking about, and I even said I'd rather have Origi on the bench than Solanke. And to a point, that's still true. I think if Divock Origi's in and around this squad, he gets 10 goals next season. But he gets 10 goals that you'd expect Dominic Solanke to score.
Yeah.
You'd expect a striker to score. Divock Origi's not pulling up any trees.
Yeah, and you've got to think about their ceilings as well. Like Origi's had, what is it? Is it 2, 3, 4 seasons like at top flight now, and he's not really done much except for he was on a really, really good run and looking really, really good.
Well, 15-16 he came in for us, so we're on. Fucking hell, has he only been here?
Third year.
Yeah, this is going into his fourth year now, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, he had that, and he hasn't really recovered from that injury that he got against Funes Mori in that Everton game, did he? He never really came back properly.
Which is a shame, because he was on fire at that point.
He really, really was. Like, he was keeping Sturridge out of the team.
Yeah, when Sturridge was still...
when Sturridge was still... Well, reasonably. Yeah. But, I think we haven't seen any progression for the last 2 years, really.
Definitely. Which is... It's such a shame. It really is such a shame, because
with young players like that, you need to see them improving.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. He's 23 now, which isn't old. On fiddle. This season, he needs to be establishing himself as someone's best striker.
Yeah.
And he's already missed out on the World Cup because of his form for Wolfsburg last season. Realistically, Dominic Solanke's 20. Dominic Solanke's gonna probably be the one at Liverpool plumb for more often than not, because he holds the ball up better as well, Solanke.
Yeah,
and
you've got to think he's got a higher ceiling as well.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, to summarise, all above the Sturridge train again, I guess. All aboard the Sturridge train again. I am so excited. I'm just so ready to get my heart broken again.
Always.
Someone else who's impressed this pre-season, I mean, you've mentioned Curtis Jones there, who's been hugely impressive, but someone else who's impressed a lot is Rafael Camacho.
Yes.
He has played a few games as a right-back. Jurgen Klopp said he has never played at right-back before now. He has looked so impressive going forward. He's played with a swagger, almost, of a man who's older than him. Do you know what I mean? He just looks
his first touch is lovely.
It is, and his speed is something that's caught me. Do you know what I mean? He is very quick. He's not scared to knock the ball on, pass someone and chase after it, and he's got a confidence about him that 9 times out of 10 he'll get to that.
Yeah. He could be the young winger that I've been craving. I was thinking it might be Harry Wilson, but he got sent out on loan. But
he's 18 years old, Camacho. And the other thing as well to remember is that Jurgen Klopp has said in the past, and he has a tendency to look in-house rather than looking away. And he has said that for Liverpool before now, that we will look to bring our own players through before we start looking at signing players.
Yeah.
And maybe that's it now, do you know what I mean? Maybe we aren't looking to sign anybody else this transfer window because he's impressed with what we've seen.
Maybe. Another quote from Klopp that I saw the other day was he was talking about we need to be in the position where, like, so the first team is fine, it's very, very strong. We need to be in the position where we can look to the bench and it's not just kids.
Yeah.
And we can bring, like, first sub, second sub can be like established, really good players that won't drop the team, and then maybe the third sub can be like a kid or something like that. So maybe this is it now. Like, the first 2 subs are Sturridge and Shaqiri, and the third sub might be Rafa, something like that.
Maybe. I mean, it's looking more likely now, particularly with the news that Ben Woodburn's looking to. Well, Aston Villa are looking to take Ben Woodburn. Ben Woodburn, I would assume, is probably looking to stay at Liverpool and prove himself here. But he's 18 years old, he needs the minutes, and he's not going to get them at Liverpool with the best will in the world. It's a different circumstance to Trent Alexander-Arnold, because as well as Trent's done, there's a lot less pressure on a right back than there is on a centre attacking midfielder who's coming through. and especially playing for Liverpool. Liverpool fans are turning around and they're looking at Ben Woodburn and they're like, well, Gerrard was good. Robbie Fowler was good.
Yeah.
Michael Owen was good. And they're looking at that kind of ilk. Whereas Trent, his competition was like when you look back over our right backs recently, he's competing against Nathaniel Klein and Glenn Johnson. Yeah, fine. You're better than the two of them as far as I'm concerned.
And when you're rotating your team as well, you're more nervous when you rotate your team and you see the drop in quality front three wise going to like Woodburn and Wilson.
Yeah.
If you go in like at the back and you're going from like Klein to Trent, it's fine.
Yeah, a team like Liverpool's not going to get the pressure on them every week.
Yeah.
That would mean a right back gets tested.
Yeah.
Whereas Woodburn, and the reason I bring them up is because they're both at a similar point now in their career where they're both looking for minutes. And if Trent wasn't a mainstay now as he's become, then I would expect him to be going out on loan as well this summer. Well, very fortunately for us, he's become very, very big and very important to our plans going forward. But yeah, Ben Woodburn to Villa, it's a strange one to me, and it also means to me as well that Jack Grealish is probably getting his Tottenham move.
Fucking levels, man.
Levels.
Oh my god.
Oh.
The players that we've signed and Spurs are going to maybe sign Jack Grealish, and that's it.
You sign Grealish, we sign Fabinho. Fucking hell.
I think as far as Championship sides go, it's quite a good move. I think it's really quite a good move because like Villa are a big team.
Yeah,
they're going to want to get promoted. They're going to be their aim this season.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Bruce will give him a chance. He's a good manager. Likes bringing through youth. It'd be good. I think the other team that it will link with were Sheffield United, and I think recently over the years we've had quite a good relationship with Sheffield United with their own players. But yeah, maybe Villa is the one this season.
Yeah, there's a similar pressure, I suppose, that you'll see for a player playing for Aston Villa trying to get promoted to the Premier League as there is for Liverpool. Maybe pushing for top four more than more than the Premier League itself, but. Yeah, I mean, I just want to see him play. I want to see minutes.
Definitely, yeah.
The one thing I have got reservations about is I wouldn't mind seeing him go to a Premier League team. And I've said the same thing about Harry Wilson. But I think I might be doing a disservice to the quality of the Championship there a little bit. But there is a step up. We said that about Rafa last season, how well he did to keep a Championship level team up in the Premier League. Mm-hmm. It would be nice to see the likes of Woodburn of Wilson get those minutes at a Premier League club, particularly the likes of Newcastle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but in the Premier League, I think it's only really Newcastle and Huddersfield that are still kind of at that level of Championship teams. I feel like I'm railing on Huddersfield here, so Lexi, if you're listening, I'm very sorry. But like those two aren't. They're the only two teams of the Premier League that don't seem to be like throwing money about like it's nobody's business.
Yeah.
And I feel like those other teams wouldn't take like a Woodburn or a Wilson because they're going to be throwing 20 million on like a Schürrle or a Mitrovic, something like that. Even Brighton have like splashed some cash, brought in some reasonably high-profile players. I can't name any because I'm an idiot, but I know they've done it.
It's on the Iranian, haven't they, to play in the Premier League?
Yes.
From PS. No, not from PSV. From Eredivisie or whatever it's called. I mean, I don't know anything about them, but yeah.
Yeah, but it really seems like those two teams that it could be possible to for those players to go to. So maybe there is just more opportunities in the Championship for them to play.
I don't know. Cardiff would have been a nice one to see. Fulham, I mean, they've spent money, but there's still going to be opportunities there. They've got quite a thin squad.
Yeah, it was mainly loan players last season, wasn't it?
They've got quite a thin squad there, as we were saying, and I don't know. I just obviously Wolves is a complete write-off because they're just fucking signing players who are way above their station.
They're kind of win the league, aren't they?
I can't even deal with it. Do you know what? I can see them struggling next season purely because I think a lot of people are building them up Whereas there are a lot of players in there who've never played in the Premier League before now.
Yeah.
And there's going to take some adjusting in there first. It's a very physical league. It'll
be interesting to watch.
Yeah, it will be, definitely. And I will be keeping a close eye on them this season, because it's interesting the relationship that they've got, which is completely legal apparently. But yeah,
it's like Barcelona signing Malcolm. It's not illegal, it's just immoral.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah,
like wanking on an airplane.
Yeah, it's frowned upon. Yeah, so away from Woodburn, we've covered Camacho, covered briefly Curtis Jones.
They're good. Looks proper scouse. Proper scally. Love it.
Yeah, looking forward. Phillips at the back played pretty well so far.
Yeah.
He looks quite comfortable, and I think there's a very important tackle as well on Sanchez.
In the United game just gone.
Pulling the trigger. Makes me think that maybe Jurgen's having a closer look at him. Maybe. I mean, nice. He said we don't need any more options at the back. He's happy with what we've got. To me, that suggests that we are going into the season with Joe Gomez playing centre half. We all kind of knew that anyway.
Oh, yeah, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I feel like the drop off between like our first choice back two of Van Dijk and Lovren, especially with Matip being a sick note, going to Clavan Gomez is maybe a little bit too much of a drop off, and that makes me a little bit nervous going into the season. Because I can't really trust Matip to stay fit. Like, it's just me and myself.
I can see what you mean, but they're only ever going to be dropping off for it. That drop off will only ever happen for League Cup games or FA Cup games.
True.
There's never going to be a Champions League game where we start Clavan and Gomez unless we've already qualified.
Yeah, and I do feel a bit greedy because like we've got 5 centre backs competing for 2 places. Like that's good.
Yeah,
and we're all pretty good centre backs.
Yeah. Is this an important year for Joe Gomez? If he's getting his chance finally at centre half?
I think it is. I think
he's only 21.
Whenever he gets played at centre half, I think he's got to really grasp it, and like show that he is a centre back. I mean, he's not a right-sided centre back in a back three, or like a right back come centre back. Like he is a centre back. He needs to show that.
Yeah, definitely. It's just the reason I ask is obviously Liverpool this summer we've proved that if there's an issue, we will go out and we will sort it and we will pin down a man who will fill that void, if you will. And I say this year in general. So we've got Van Dijk, we've got Keita, we've got Fabinho, we've got Alisson, Shaqiri even to a point now. Gomez has surely got to look at this as Liverpool will be willing to go out and spend the money that they need to next year to find Van Dijk a quality partner if it's not him. And I'm not trying to put any unwanted pressure on Joe Gomez because obviously he's a year behind where he thought he would be with that terrible injury he got. But I don't know. I've never seen much from him at centre half that made me think that was his future, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
He doesn't command. He's not really a commanding presence.
Yeah,
we've seen him get beat in the air quite a lot from balls over the top.
Yeah.
You
don't want that from a centre half.
Exactly, and it's a lot of pressure as well.
Devil's advocate, they are different kinds of balls that are going over his head at right back because he reckons he's got the byline behind him.
That's completely fair. And that is completely fair. And I think I said that to you at some point this year as well. That is very much, you have to bear that in mind. That it's a different scenario completely. You're defending against different types of footballers. And maybe the physical presence of a striker competing against them might just waken them up a little bit.
Yeah, rather than like a pacey winger waiting for like the missed ball or anything.
One thing I would say though is Joe Gomez starting at centre half. Sign that Nathaniel Klein starts the first game of the season, because you think about the defence. If Joe Gomez goes into centre half, so we've got Alisson in goal, and then Trent Alexander-Arnold, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robertson. That right side, is
suddenly looks quite weak.
It doesn't look weak as such, but
looks like it's going to be targeted.
Inexperienced, isn't it? And there's a lot of room in there for an experienced striker to get in amongst. For example, our second game against Crystal Palace, there's a lot of experience of Christian Benteke there for him to just go and attach himself to Joe Gomez and just be like, right, okay, I'm going to make you my bitch here, and I'm going to just slot into that gap between you and the fullback.
Yeah.
So when that fullback bombs on, the ball can go over to me, and I'm just going to dominate this game.
So maybe that would be the strategy with like back four rotation. Maybe you have you keep Robertson and Van Dijk for as much as you can.
Play pairs.
Yeah, and you pair up Gomez and Klein, so you've got a little bit of experience on that right side, and then you pair up Lovren and Trent.
Yeah.
I quite like that.
Yeah, that's where I would think that would lead, because I just can't see Liverpool at any stage this year like just pinning that much on Virgil van Dijk. Do you know what I mean? And pinning that much on our new goalkeeper who's not used to the Premier League yet as well. I mean, we all hope he's going to catch the ball. Catch the ball. Sorry. We all hope he's just going to catch fire straight away, and he's just going to be incredible. But realistically, it took David De Gea a good couple of years to get used to it, kind of thing. It might not be straight away. I hope it is, and fingers crossed, everything crossed, really, that it is that. But I just don't think Jurgen Klopp is naive enough to expect that of a 21-year-old and an 18-year-old.
Oh, true.
Going into this season. So I would expect Klein to start the first game if Gomez is starting at centre-half next to him. That was the whole point of that.
That's fair. I do think Klein starts anyway because Trent's getting back so late.
What I would argue with that is that Klein's been home for birth of his child. So
not for too long though, has he? He's
would
meeting back
piss
up
Mourinho off to no end.
Oh my god, yeah. Was it Rashford who went home for it?
No, Martial.
Martial.
Yeah. Just going to throw little slide digs in here until we get to the end.
Yeah, we are going to talk about that. It's going to be great. Can't wait.
Prick. So we've covered most of the youth that have featured. There are little cameos here, there, and everywhere, but someone who is not so much youth anymore, but has impressed in the 45 minutes that he has played for Liverpool so far is Xherdan Shaqiri.
Yes.
Xherdan Shaqiri, man.
Like our new number 23, scoring on his debut, just like an old famous 23.
I mean, the first impressions he's given in that first 45 minutes of playing for Liverpool. Let's get it out of the way. It's a very inexperienced Man United team. It's not what we're going to be seeing week in, week out.
No.
But we're 2 weeks away from the season.
This is true.
This is what United are bringing to the party 2 weeks away from the season, whether Mourinho likes it or not.
He doesn't. You
can only beat what's put in front of you, and Xherdan Shaqiri was probably the best player on the pitch in the second half, for me anyway.
I'd say so, yeah.
His link-up play was absolutely incredible. If you can hear banging in the background, it's Riley playing with his bone. Sorry. His link-up play was incredible. He seemed to fit in straight away, and I don't want to oversell it straight away because he's a £13 million player who's been, well, he's not, but he's been signed for £13 million, sorry, and he was never more than a backup to us realistically.
Yeah.
But now we see him playing off the striker even. We've got a great relationship developing there, it seems to be. It's a very exciting time.
Yeah, I was impressed to see him playing more centrally. I thought he'd be like coming straight in, maybe like as an inverted winger, straight swap for Mane or Salah. But he seemed to be playing centrally. And the weird thing for me was I always thought of him as a ball at his feet, face towards goal player, but like, his hold-up play was really, really good. I know it was only 45 minutes against a weakened United side, but his hold-up play was really, really good. Like we know he's strong, but like he's stronger than he's a lot stronger than I thought. Even being built like a brick shithouse, and his.
I wish I was that fat.
Yeah, me too, God. But you mentioned his link-up play. His first-time passing is just really, really good. He seems to just has that game intelligence and that understanding between players already, which is really, really nice. I can't wait to see him properly play with the fast lads. I just keep calling him a fast lad.
Yeah. I'm very
seems,
interested to see that
myself. He seems to have... We were talking about pairs on the centre-backs. Maybe there's pairs when we're talking about like our attackers as well. We know Keita and Mane have a bit of a relationship. Maybe they're a pair on the left. Maybe we quite enjoyed Trent and Salah on the right last season. Maybe Shaqiri and Sturridge, when they come in, as first and second subs, or as the captains of the second team, maybe they're a pair.
I would change Trent to Oxlade-Chamberlain.
True, but
Oxlade-Chamberlain,
I would have mentioned Oxlade-Chamberlain, but he is out injured.
Yeah,
so I'm just thinking what pairs could happen in a minute. And I noticed that they were a three pretty much, but I think without Oxlade-Chamberlain, you can still have the two of Trent and Salah linking up quite nicely. Yeah,
that's fair. I think Shaqiri adds another piece to the puzzle, definitely, and he adds another dimension to the Bulls' play. In the fact that we can now, you look across the front four, if all four of them were playing, and you can quite happily say that you play Salah behind Firmino, or you play Mane and Shaqiri on the wings, or you're playing Firmino deep and you put Salah up top, or then Mane comes across and plays in the centre instead, or Shaqiri.
They're very fluid front four.
Exactly, it's fluid, and that's exactly what Liverpool will be after, is that you can put any of them across that front line and any of them will give you 100%.
Yeah.
And if Shaqiri can fit in the way he looked like he was trying to, and let's not, we're not getting carried away here at all in the fact that he was never signed as starting every week, from what we're led to believe anyway. But it's a big positive for Liverpool to have a player of that quality who can slot in like he has.
Exactly.
Like
all of this transfer window, the mantra I've been going by is like, if this signing was on the bench of a Champions League final, would they have helped?
Yeah.
And Shaqiri 100% would have.
Yeah, and that's fair. That's fair enough. I'm going to put a bit of pressure on you now.
Oh.
Pick your first 11 for the West Ham game.
Oh, wow.
2 weeks. It's less than 2 weeks away now.
It is less than 2 weeks
Liverpool
away.
have 2 friendlies left, in which we are going to see Firmino and Alisson and Trent, hopefully, against Napoli.
Yep.
And then the full squad should be back. The full complement should be back for the Torino game. Not that they all play, but they should all be back.
Yeah, okay.
So who do you think, based on what you've seen so far, who do you think starts the first game?
Okay. Alisson in net.
Uh-huh.
Because keepers don't really need as much recovery time, I don't think. They have to bring them up to speed. Robertson, Van Dijk, Gomez.
Gone left to right.
Sorry.
It's weird, isn't it, how football teams normally go right to left when you're reading them out. You normally start with the right back. It's weird.
I don't like it.
Can't kill him. Sorry.
Robertson, Van Dijk. I think Gomez pips it ahead of Matip. I'm not sure if he's going to be fit. And Klein, for reasons that we mentioned. Keita, 100% in midfield. Henderson's probably going to miss out because he's back so late. Same with Lovren. So probably Fabinho. And the third midfielder, I know you're angling for me to say Shaqiri.
I'm not.
You're not? Okay.
No. I'm... go on. But
I think it might be Milner.
That's fair.
Because I think that midfield three, generally, that first team midfield three is going to be Keita, Henderson and Fabinho behind them.
Yeah, I could see that, definitely.
I think Henderson's going to become more of a box-to-box like
which
he was.
I'm so excited to see.
Which I'm dead excited for, because 13-14 and 14-15...
He was incredible.
He was great.
Yeah, definitely.
In those roles.
Definitely.
But I think in the absence of Henderson, it's probably going to be Milner. And then the front three of Salah, Mane, and probably Sturridge.
Okay. I'd be... I'm not going to say I'd be disappointed if I saw that first game, but I'd be a bit concerned that that's a bit too... It's a bit too conservative from Liverpool, in the fact that we're going to see Milner play, who's more of a box-to-box. I would much rather see Liverpool start the first game of the season with Mane sitting behind the three of Shaqiri, Salah and Firmino.
The thing is with that, have we seen...
Or, sorry, not Firmino, Sturridge. probably. I think we both agree Firmino probably doesn't start the first game.
Oh, he's going to come back overweight, so
yeah.
He's still going to be throwing up pure vodka.
And as I said, I'd rather have him for Crystal Palace starting. So
I'm good. His hair's no longer white. I thought he dyed his hair white. I was so excited. It's like, you fucking weirdo.
You're such a tit. I love him. But yeah, I think... I mean, maybe I'm doing West Ham a bit of a disservice here, but I think first game of the season, you want to grab it by the scruff of the neck. Fabinho and Keita in midfield, pulling strings. Liverpool are going to be playing with pretty high line. I'd like to see Liverpool with a player like Mane, who's just fucking everywhere he wants to be. Shaqiri coming from the left-hand side, just crossing it in for a proper striker like Sturridge.
Yeah.
I could just see it.
Yeah, no, possibly. I think the reason I'm a little bit more conservative, perhaps...
Fuck
you. I knew that was coming.
I'm going to cut that. I'm just going to have that little soundbite as my new text, Tom.
You prick. We were on about it last week or the week before. West Ham are kind of an unknown quantity at the minute. I think, by all means, go for it. But I think that there's got to be an air of caution because we have no idea what this West Ham team is like.
That is true.
And if you want a player that you can trust to keep his head and just do the job required of him, it's James Milner.
It definitely is, and Milner's going to come into the season. You'd assume 100% fit because he fucking never isn't.
He's the fittest man in the fucking world.
He really is.
How is he best fit when he's not old, but for a footballer he's getting on.
It's interesting though that you haven't picked Adam Lallana. Bearing in mind Adam Lallana's missed one game of pre-season and it was the first game.
See, I think,
and he has looked sharp. I'm not sure if Lallana is still playing his deeper role as like an 8. I'm not sure if Lallana and Keita start games. I feel like they're quite similar players, like pressing, and when we might not need that much pressing against West Ham at home. Depends what style they play.
My argument, unknown quantity.
It is, but I mean, you look at what Pellegrini used. He had Dzeko there. He obviously plumbed for Aguero more, as most people would. But when he was at City, they weren't a direct team by any stretch of the imagination. And I can't imagine them being too direct against Liverpool. I can imagine them wanting to get the ball down.
They're going to want to play some footy, yeah.
Whatever you get with whoever you play out of Lallana and Milner, you're going to get someone who's pressing the ball really high up the pitch. And Liverpool will be looking to win it back as high as they can. I'm so excited for the football to be back.
It's only 2 weeks.
Yeah. Whoever plays, like, I can understand either approach. Basically, I can understand this like swagger approach, if you will, of this is our attacking quantity now. Go fucking deal with that.
Yeah.
Go on, deal with Keita, deal with Mane, deal with Shaqiri, Salah, Sturridge. Go on, you fucking deal with that, and we'll have at the back. We'll have Alisson in goal. We'll have Nathaniel Klein at right back with Joe Gomez, Virgil van Dijk, Andy Robertson, and Fabinho. And if you can fucking come at us and you can break us down, that sounds fair enough. I mean, there's a lot there to be excited about this season.
It's City last season.
Yeah.
And we're in a position where we can do that now. It's lovely. It's good.
Definitely. I'm not going to ask you for any predictions about West Ham because we'll talk about it more.
It's back.
We'll talk about it more next week after we've had a decent look at Liverpool again against Napoli, I guess. The Torino friendlies are Tuesday night. It's really weird.
I'm going to start paying attention to some West Ham friendlies as well. Apparently,
West Ham have played very well in their pre-season.
Yeah, and Arnautovic keeps scoring.
Arnautovic has been very good.
Yeah.
Felipe Anderson scored his first goal for them as well the other day. I've said it before. I think West Ham are going to have a very, very good season.
Be hilarious if they just flop though, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Their net spend's higher than Liverpool's over the last 4 years.
Oof.
Yeah, I know. I mean, ours. Whenever we talk about net spend now, ours is just hugely shifted because we fucking sold that Brazilian for 140 million. But yeah, I'm not going to ask you for any predictions on the West Ham game. I'm also not going to ask you for any predictions on the league table in general this season.
Can I predict
Yet.
the league table to be 7-0?
Because we need to... Yes, you can. No, we need to have something to talk about next week.
This is true.
So, instead, what I'm going to ask you is the question I asked you a couple of weeks ago. What do Liverpool need from the transfer window from this point on?
From this point on.
What do Liverpool still need? And that can be ins or outs, by the way.
Yeah. Mingale's fuck off. That'd be nice. But they're off. They're off. We know they're off.
We hope.
Your Mingales, your Kariuses, your Ings, your Origis.
I think
they're probably off.
Grabara and Kelleher look. Grabara in particular looks so confident.
Yeah, no, I've liked him over pre-season. We didn't mention him when we talked about the other youth, but now I've been impressed.
No one's asked about keepers unless they make mistakes. That's the
true.
sad indictments on modern football, unfortunately.
But. I still feel like we are a body light and attack. So when you look at like our first 11 and then like you try and sort out like squad depth and have a player in each position, you're missing one when you get to Mane. Because say if you swap for Salah, it's going to be Shaqiri, and you swap for Firmino is going to be like one of Sturridge or Solanke. I'm not a subscriber to it's like, oh yeah, just stick Solanke or Sturridge on the wing, or it's like, oh, you can have Milner on free, like Milner as depth for
do you not rotate places? Do you not change formations though?
No,
surely Liverpool have shown
can, but
that we can do that.
No, we definitely can, but numbers wise, I would quite like us to have two players in each position. And if Rafa's going to come in and be that winger.
Just take a match out, please. Don't say Rafa. Just got this image of a fucking 60-year-old waiter just running down the way. Rafa now. Can't be 60.
It always reminded me of Rene from A Lower Low.
What a fella.
So now I'm just imagining Rafa in
58, I wasn't far off.
Oh, that's pretty close actually. Yeah. In an apron. With some French bird running after him, running down the wing. But yeah, now if he is that winger, then that's fine, that's good. But I do feel like maybe we do need another body there, a young winger, a Pulisic perhaps.
Well, it's funny you should say that. I mean, to just talk about your point there, I don't see this as Jurgen Klopp being attached to a formation, and I think the thing you have to remember is that we have added bodies, well, a body overall in midfield. Obviously, we've been denied with Oxlade-Chamberlain now, so we are basically on an even keel, if you will. But Grujic has come back. Don't know what's happening with him. He's probably gone back to Cardiff, if we're realistic. But you know, we've got the added benefit of Lallana coming back like a new signing.
Gotta get it in. Gotta get it in.
It's my new Gini Wijnaldum's never scored away from home. It really is. Although that could change to never score the Premier League.
Yeah, no, they will start doing that because there's no football doesn't exist if it's not Premier League.
No, that's true. But yeah, I think Liverpool have a flexibility about them, and they've shown it at times last season. The last game of the season, we see Solanke and Firmino start up front, and Liverpool might have 6 names across that front, but they aren't necessarily a chop and change job. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, true.
So we might have Salah and Mane and Firmino as the front three, and then the backups are Shaqiri, Solanke, and Sturridge. And there's no need for us to say there that Sturridge or Solanke will end up playing left wing.
Yeah, they just play 2 up top.
They'll just play 2 up top and Shaqiri behind.
Yeah,
and that's absolutely fine. And then you've got Lallana in midfield to come in. You've got Wijnaldum to come in and replace Keita, if you will. Henderson can slot in back into the 6 if he needs.
Yeah,
it's the 6. Yeah, if he needs to. I just think that Liverpool will be more flexible this season if we do not go out and spend the money that we probably still have there somewhere. I mean, we might have to stand on the back of a couch somewhere or something, but
hey, we're getting apparently like 25 for Mignolet, aren't we?
Well, this is it. It's whether Liverpool are just going to spend it. You will see whether Liverpool mean business or not, as to whether they spend the rest of this transfer window recouping what they've spent, or if they recoup some money and then go and lash it on somebody else.
I'm not sure that's it. Like we did, like from a window so far, we do mean business.
Yeah, I understand that, but all Liverpool have done at the moment is address the problems that were there last season, and that's fair enough. That's all you can do. But Man City don't have any problems, and they've still gone out and bought Riyad Mahrez.
Yes,
and that's the thing I think Liverpool needs to show this year. There's not been a signing really where you just be like, Liverpool have bought him because for the sake of buying him.
Yeah, because he could.
Yeah, we needed Shaqiri. We needed that other body. We've already spoke about that. So I think.
See, this is why I kind of want another winger. So when you said like you could bring on Shaqiri or Sturridge or Solanke, you're bringing on one player and you're changing the whole team. Mm-hmm. It would make me a lot more comfortable if you could have a like for like. If you could have a like for like in the moment, and also have in this moment, and also have the option to change things up if you need it. It gives you that little bit more security in that if that formation is working well in a game and you have to bring off Mane, you can bring on a pacey winger and not have to change things up too much.
I see what you're saying. I think the other bonus as well of sticking to up top would also be that we aren't really giving enough attacking credit to our fullbacks, Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold, and with two big fellas up front. And Sturridge has never been one who's excellent in the air, but he's a poacher. He's a goal scorer at the end of the day. And Dominic Solanke, he just looks like a fella who needs a cross.
Yeah,
it's his feed off. Do you know what I mean?
He's a big bloke.
And if we go into the season with them, and I know we've said about Solanke needs to go out on loan kind of thing. He could really do with a loan period, but if he is going to stay as the sixth attacker, if you will, then the idea of playing two up top with the two fullbacks is pretty good going forward, I think. And it just gives us another dimension again. It's another thing we've got there. But again, the winger idea behind, I think it would literally be a show of force for Liverpool to go out and buy someone else now. We don't. The argument that we haven't replaced Coutinho, I think, is null and void because Coutinho didn't fit the team as well as people would have you believe. And I'm not saying Coutinho wasn't a fantastic footballer, because he is a fantastic footballer. And he scored goals that were fucking beyond this realm sometimes. But in terms of what Jurgen Klopp wants from his midfielders, he was never after a Philip Coutinho.
Yeah, I think he wants his 10s to be more like Keita and Lallana.
His 10s, I mean, look at what Mario Götze gave to Dortmund kind of thing. And it was a press up until, he got fat bastard disease or whatever it's called.
Gout?
He's got a really poor metabolism.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah, same. But I think Coutinho, as I say, he never really fit in as well as Jurgen would like. Whereas now, with the links to Fekir, Fekir looked like that type of player. And if his knees bust, then his knees bust. Liverpool aren't prepared to take a chance on that. And they've gained themselves enough stock this window that I think a lot of people will be like, all right then, that's fine.
The FSG houses have pounced on it though.
Yeah, and they will do. They will do because, I mean...
not prepared to take the risk to take the final step.
For as good as last transfer, the last summer was, we signed Mo Salah, confirmed Keita for a year. Everyone's head still fell off when we didn't get Van Dijk, mine and yours included.
Oh yes,
and that was, that was completely reasonable. We thought we were getting Thomas Lemar as well, briefly, but we still. This window, I think everyone would agree we would like another attacker, and I'm not saying winger there, I'm saying attacker, and I think that's where Pulisic will come in as someone who can play across the front three.
Yeah,
he's getting a lot of credit as a winger, and he gets called a winger a lot. But when he played the other day against us, he was through the middle.
Yeah, he was a 10 pretty much.
Made things happen, and he's 19 years old. Now, 60 million quid's a lot of money to spend on a 19-year-old. Maybe it's too much for Liverpool.
It's certainly 10 million more than Richarlison, who hasn't scored for 6 months.
We bid £11 million for Christian Pulisic 2 years ago. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, no, it is.
The reason that we're talking about Pulisic anyway, for those of you who haven't heard it, is that it's claiming out that apparently Dortmund are willing to listen to bids of £65 million and above because he's got 1 year left on his. Sorry, he's got 2 years left on his deal.
And talks of an extension have kind of broken down.
Talks of an extension have kind of broken down at this point, and they're scared that his stock might fall in the next season for whatever reason. So they want to take advantage of his stock being as high as it is right now.
Yeah.
And the teams who are apparently interested are Chelsea and, as always, when Christian Pulisic gets named with anywhere, Liverpool. Now, Jurgen Klopp's a massive fan of him. From what I've seen, he's a very good footballer. But he's 19 years old.
Yeah. Stats from last season aren't great either, to be honest.
But never with Dortmund.
No, but this is true. But over the season, he got 7 goals and 5 assists in 42 appearances.
Similar to Shaqiri, that, isn't it?
I think Shaqiri got a bit more.
I think Shaqiri got 8 goals.
Okay, sound.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, and if we're getting him in to be like a rotation option, I think I'm okay with stats like that. Like, we know he's 19. We know he's not world beater yet.
We aren't.
It's a lot of potential.
We aren't signing someone for £60 million as a rotation option. That's the problem. And I didn't see that when we were linked with Fekir. To be honest, I thought Fekir would have been starting hands down where we put Milner for the first game.
So where would Pulisic start? Would he start there?
No, I think Pulisic was starting the Shaqiri role. Well, yes, in that shirt, if you will, but not in the position. I think he'd take up that number, and Liverpool would just be more attacking about it. But I just can't see Liverpool just splashing that much money on somebody. They could have bought for £20 million a couple of years ago.
Yes, this is true. The thing is, rumours, we're always linked with Pulisic because it just seems like such a perfect fit. Like, with Klopp being here and with the owners being American and with Pulisic being the face of like US football now,
it makes sense.
Everyone's like, "Oh, the shirt sales alone."
Yeah, it makes sense from a business standpoint.
It makes so much sense from a business standpoint.
Yeah,
but it would be the next kind of level of signing.
It's like when Ji-sung Park signed for United, and all of a sudden United are massive in South Korea. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they knew what they were doing.
Sort of Son in Spurs.
Yeah, exactly, and they're not daft. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Son's not a world class footballer because he is, and I'd love him at Liverpool. But it must come into thinking at some stage. You must be like, well, I mean, if you had someone with identical stats, so let's say it's Shaqiri and Pulisic who are similar stats, and let's say they were both going for £40 million this year. You're going to sign Pulisic out of the two.
Yeah,
I mean, not just for the age reason, but because of the fact that from a financial standpoint going forward, exactly, it's so much easier to market somebody who's already selling. Do you know what I mean? Rather than just pulling it out of thin air.
But do you think it's just because of like it seems like a perfect fit, which is why we're linked so heavily, or do you think there is actual kind of interest?
I wouldn't be surprised if there was actual interest. Liverpool were putting the feelers out, but I wouldn't expect Liverpool to sign anyone. From this point on, I don't think Liverpool sign anybody purely because if we were going to sign Fekir, I think it'd be done by now.
Yeah.
Liverpool won't sign him unless Lyon decide that they will only they only want £40 million for him.
Yeah.
And at that point, you know, are Lyon in the Champions League this year? I look forward to getting beat by Lyon.
For those who couldn't hear, I shrugged.
Yeah. For those of you who don't have supersonic hearing. Yeah. I won't be disappointed.
No.
If Liverpool end the transfer window tomorrow, I won't be disappointed with what
I think we've had the most successful window of the top 6 clubs. If it ends tomorrow. Even if Chelsea sign who they reckon they're going to sign.
No, Chelsea are fucked as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, if United have a bid accepted for Willian, is that true?
I don't know.
Believe they bid for him. Either that or I dreamed it.
I read something earlier that Real Madrid are bidding for Willian now, so I don't think...
Who the fucking hell? Like,
he's 29!
Why has everyone decided Willian's the answer to every question?
I like him, but...
I liked him.
Not great goal stats for a player that played as much as he has over the last 4 years. Can't fault his work rate though. He was the only player who carried on playing for Chelsea after everyone else just down tools.
No, definitely. While we're talking about Man United, we may as well talk about Jose Mourinho and his meltdown. So he's had a massive breakdown again this week, which is becoming rapidly everyone's favourite thing in football.
It is great,
except for Man United fans.
Poor guys, my heart bleeds for him.
I know you.
My heart bleeds for Alexis Sanchez having to play with those players that he had to play with.
Well, let's take the joke away for a second, and let's talk about it from a purely football fan point of view. Jose Mourinho, the last couple of days, has said that if he was a football fan of Man United over in America, he wouldn't have paid the money to go and watch those two teams play against each other.
Because it's not really Man United.
Because it's not really Man United. He's said publicly that this is not his squad. This is not the squad. This is not Man United's squad. It is maybe 40% of his squad, maybe less than that. And how do you think Alexis Sanchez feels playing with those kids, as you've referenced there? He is condemned, sort of, off the cuff. I think this one got blown out of proportion a little bit, but Martial, he said, why is Martial not here, basically? He said, thank God the kid's healthy, he's had a child, he's not here when he should be here, kind of thing. So, that suggests, basically, that he's disappointed, but he understands, kind of thing. And that's fair enough. I think he's been pulled apart with that one, which is a little bit unfair. But from a fan point of view, first of all, what can you even think is going on in that club at the moment? There's also another quote that he's pulled that he said, I've given them a list of 5 players and I've only had one of them so far. I might get 2, but it's probably only going to be 1. I mean, what do you make of that, of a manager just publicly doing that to a club who've publicly backed managers to the hilt? I mean, Ferguson received whatever he wanted. Van Gaal got money to spend. He spent fucking £60 million on Martial, to name but one. What has gone through Mourinho's mind to make fucking comments like that?
To me, it stinks of a man trying to get in his excuses early. I think he knows that maybe with some complications with who he wanted to sign. I know him and Woodward haven't
Edwards
really.
Is ours.
Yeah, Edwards is ours, and he's boss. But him and it's because his first name is Ed.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's the reason.
Ed Woodward. Because him and Ed Woodward haven't seen particularly eye to eye. I think Mourinho wants Vertonghen or Alderweireld, one of those. Alderweireld, but Woodward doesn't want to spend that much money on an old centre-back because I think he's aware that squad is not the youngest and would prefer to spend it on Maguire. That's kind of annoyed Mourinho, and I think there's a lot of that.
It's a lot of money.
I think there's a lot of that between like the players that Mourinho wants and the players that Woodward thinks would go, and there's not a lot of cohesion there. And I think he's seen that, and then he's seen, obviously, City are just ridiculous, and he's seen how well Liverpool have bought, and the kind of cohesion there.
He's trying to apply the pressure to Liverpool this week as well.
Exactly, yeah. I think he's
saying
trying
Liverpool
to
should win the title this season.
He's trying to deflect, maybe onto us, but I think he's also just trying to get in excuses early, saying it's like, well, I've had my hands tied. I haven't had the squad to work with. I don't have the players that I want. Yeah, we are falling away in the title race, and it's your fault. Fuck you. I think it kind of stinks of a man trying to do that. He's preparing for his own infamous third season at a club, it seems. Yeah. Could all be bullshit, and it could be like a Mourinho mind game, but I don't really think there is that anymore.
Where do they go from here, though? That's the thing. Where do United go? Because they can't. Are they looking at Conte? Are they looking at waiting for Tuchel? Are they waiting for
Pochettino? I know he's always linked. But what we need is like a director of football. We need someone to be just in charge of transfers, work with the manager, not seemingly against him. He just needs some cohesion, because it just seems like every transfer window, it doesn't seem like they're building towards like a plan.
Yeah.
It's just, I like him, let's buy him. It's not filling any requirements. It's just like, I want this great player. Let's buy him and make him work.
Yeah.
And that cannot work for much longer. It can't. And I think Mourinho knows that.
It's putting sealant round a leaking tap rather than tightening the valve itself.
Yes.
Or replacing the valve itself, if we're going to use that analogy. It's making do with what you can, and they've been doing it for a good couple of years now. So whilst they're trying to bring through the youth, there have been the Angel Di Marias, there have been the Juan Matas, there have been the Nemanja Matic's, there have been Zlatan Ibrahimovic's, and we spoke about this recently as well. But it's never been Mourinho's way to use kids.
No, he's not a developer of players.
Yeah, he's not a developer of players.
He brings in a squad of very, very talented players and makes them a unit.
Yeah, and I mean...
For 3 seasons before it falls apart.
Yes, the 3-season case, of which he escaped at Inter Milan by leaving and passed on to Rafa instead. Rafa lost stock because of that, and it really wound me up.
Rafa.
As far as I'm concerned, Jose Mourinho has been fucking stealing a living at that club, and at most clubs, to be fair, all the way through his career. I mean, what he achieved at Porto is incredible, but then he goes to Chelsea, he gets a blank checkbook. He's been to Real Madrid, he's had a blank checkbook. You know, Inter Milan, it coincided with Inter Milan just having some incredible footballers who he then added to. Don't get me wrong, he's still, he gets the best out of Danny Milito while he's there, but I've never seen him publicly fall apart to this level. I don't think anyone has, to be fair. What the fucking hell's up with this dog?
And the thing is, it's fine him like having these meltdowns and like the mind games or whatever, but like the people that he's thrown under the bus like this time are United's kids.
Yeah,
and that's
youngsters who are not. I mean,
that is horrible. That is horrible.
They need to hear words of encouragement. So I mean, for context, I mean, Jurgen Klopp has done nothing but praise the kids since they've been out there.
Yeah.
He's been saying Camacho's done so well. Chiravella's leaving next week.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's gone to Rosenborg, and straight away, Jurgen Klopp's been like,
Pep Guardiola's been the same. Sarri's been the same. Emery's been the same. But like, by all means, make your point.
Pochettino's glory. I mean, he's
they're the only players he's got at the minute.
Yeah, it is. True, the same could be said of Guardiola as well. But and that's an important point, though. They're the only place that that Jose Mourinho's got at the moment. But he's the one kicking the foot. Yeah, he's the one kicking off about it.
Like, by all means, if you are unhappy with the board, if you're unhappy with like signings, if you're unhappy with your squad, make your point. But don't bring like youth team into it, like and saying that Alexis Sanchez is unhappy because of the players that he has to play with.
Yeah,
that's a fucking horrible thing to say.
It's a cop out.
Yeah, and like with young players, with 18, 19-year-olds, a lot of it is confidence based. And to hear like the manager of the first team say shit like that, it can't be good.
Yeah, definitely
for like their development.
It's definitely like, a bad sign.
I never thought he actively. Maybe. I knew he didn't use youth. I didn't know he actively like wanted to make them worse.
Yeah,
or would do something that could make them worse, rather than like just not using them and letting them stagnate.
The thing that I think the thing I'd take away from that as well, if I was a youngster, is if Liverpool are coming for me, and Man United are coming for me, and Man City are coming for me, and Tottenham are coming for me, I'm not going anywhere near Man United.
Yeah, like you don't feel wanted. You don't feel
exactly.
Needed.
I mean,
you don't feel valued at all.
Exactly, unless you get money thrown at you, then you are, using your brain. You aren't going to go near Manchester United because Manchester United, you are not going to get the breaks that you would get at Liverpool, at City, at Tottenham. They've become almost what Chelsea were under Mourinho. Do you know what I mean? Where you had a sense that he was reluctant to play the kids, and he would always rely on his perpetuals, so his Czechs, his Terrys, his Lampards, his Drogba's.
See, I saw someone throw out a stat in defence of Mourinho over this, and saying, "Oh, well, actually, the most minutes played by academy players brought through their academies was actually for Manchester United, and it wasn't Mourinho bringing through those players though. It was Van
Gaal.
It was Van Gaal bringing through all those players, getting those minutes and making them first teamers. It wasn't Mourinho. So if we look in the next few years, United are going to be very, very low on that table of minutes played by players coming through the academy.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
It's frustrating. People using stats like that to back up Mourinho when it's obvious that he is detrimental to these youth prospects.
And not only to that as well, it's to the legacy that Fergie had built. Do you know what I mean? So if you remember now, like, you know, the class of '92, the class of '92, we're looking at the likes of Beckham, the likes of Neville's, the likes of Scholes, the likes of Giggs, then the likes of Butt. You know, all of them coming through at a similar time, and they're all getting a chance. And Ferguson, throughout his time at Manchester United, you know, he was constantly bringing through kids. He was constantly giving them a chance. There was O'Shea, there was Brown. You know, just to name people who would fill in the void, if you will, like just do what was necessary. You know, you look at the 2009 title success, Federico Macheda.
Yeah,
who the fuck is he now? Do you know what I mean? But he was given the opportunity. Danny Welbeck was given his opportunity, and I think there's a legacy that Ferguson was trying to, always insisted upon at Man United. I think that's being destroyed by Mourinho. I really do.
Yeah.
Not just in terms of the football they're playing, just in terms of what they were doing with the kids.
Yeah. For one player that Mourinho, I think he brought him through, McTominay.
Yes,
but he didn't seem happy about having to do it.
Mm-hmm. Desperation.
Yeah, he seemed very reluctant to do it. And it's that reluctance that just it can't be good. It can't be a good atmosphere for these youth players. Being with a manager like that.
Yeah.
Like maybe it's great for a bit because you're like, oh my god, it's Mourinho. He's won fucking everything. He could teach me so much. And then like, obviously I don't know what happens in training, but I assume he just fucking ignores all of them and just, I don't know, sucks Sanchez's dick or something.
I mean, you often see reports in the Echo of Liverpool have trained today and they've brought through XYZ from the academy to come and train with the senior lot. And I'm not saying United don't do that because I don't know, but it just doesn't strike me as the kind of beneficial experience that it would be at Liverpool for a United kid. And like this isn't two Liverpool fans just trying to pull Man United apart. This is genuinely, like, you know, from a football and fan perspective.
If I was a United fan, I'd be gutted with all this.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think there's a price to pay for those 3 trophies they won. I don't know what's happening with the dog. He's going through something. He went upstairs and he won't come down unless we go up and get him. So he's just being a bit of a dick at the moment. But
he's a Richardson.
Jamie's not been it. Jamie's not here this week to mind him, or play with him or take him out. So he's getting a bit annoyed that we're not paying him any attention. I've just done 30 seconds on the dog. But I mean,
30 seconds.
Yeah, it is. So I mean, this week coming up, Liverpool, as I say, Napoli, Torino. Maybe there's future developments in the transfer window. Maybe there are players leaving. I wouldn't expect anything massive, as I say.
No, I do think we're done.
Yeah, I think Jurgen's been.
I think Mourinho might be done after this season.
Nicely done.
Well done.
I can't think of much really that could happen now for the rest of the window that would really upset me. Do you know what I mean? I can't think of, for example, City have brought Mahrez in. I'm not particularly arsed.
I'd be upset if Chelsea did get Pulisic. I don't think Pulisic is like the answer to Chelsea's problems. I think they have a lot of problems. But I would be upset that would mean like we're not getting Pulisic for the foreseeable future.
I agree, but I also think that if they get Pulisic, there's no way that they're keeping hold of Hazard or Willian.
Because apparently he is the hot property at the minute.
And Willian is a very good footballer, and I would assume Pulisic comes in at a similar level to Willian. I mean, it'd be annoying in the fact that Pulisic would then be Hazard's long-term replacement, and Chelsea will be sorted there. But I don't know what's gone through Sarri's mind. He might turn around and go, I want Insigne, I want Mertens. Do you know what I mean? It'll be interesting. And let's not forget, the papers have linked Liverpool and Chelsea with Pulisic. There's no hard evidence at the moment that either team have actually gone back in for him. You know, there's no guaranteed bids. It's just, they've been alerted. So have everyone. So, do you know what I mean? So Tottenham, so
maybe
Cities.
they just put 2 and 2 together. It's like, Willian and Hazard look like they're off.
Exactly.
And Pulisic would fit at Liverpool.
Create your rumours. You can create rumours out of thin air if you start applying logic to football. So that's been this week. Apologies again for the dog, because he's gone through some things. Yeah, he is. He's gone through some things. Yeah. He's gone through doggy puberty.
Dog sat for him last week, and he just wandered into my room about 3:30 both nights, crying. He just like, no, what do you want?
He just wants attention. He just wants
attention.
Yeah.
I want to sleep. I was knackered on Saturday.
Yeah, he's a dick. So if you could like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. What are we even doing with Reddit these days, Matt? Are we on Reddit still?
Yeah,
we're about.
Yeah.
If you see us on Reddit, give us a karma. Is it karma on Reddit? Upvote. What's karma?
Karma's what I get from the upvotes.
All right, okay. Yeah, give us karma.
They're
then.
Meaningless points.
Give us karma.
Yeah,
I was right. Fucking hell. Follow us on the usual platforms, so Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, Podbean. I forget that every week.
You do. And I remember it every week.
Yeah. This week I will, before the football starts, I will get a fancy Premier League sorted.
Just going to be me, you and Jamie.
I keep forgetting. It will literally be us today. Although, I mean, the last couple of episodes have done all right on Podbean. I miss SoundCloud. It was a lot easier for people to listen to a little bit, but Podbean's better for us, I think. So,
and iTunes. People say
to be fair,
iTunes. So,
and I haven't had a look at the Spotify statistics for a good while yet. So
I fucking hate iTunes. I really do. It's slow. It's crap. I don't know why people use it. You're all sheep.
Thanks for that, Matt. For insulting the one fella who listens to us through iTunes.
Just do a Spotify, man. It's great.
Fucking hell. So we'll be back next week. More of the same kind of stuff. Hopefully less of the dog barking. But that's been this week's The Story of a Poor Boy.
Cheers, guys.